Oh, are we on? We're on.
No, sorry, I
Oh,
didn't warn you.
Oh, you're good. Don't
Good
worry about
morning.
it.
Tony's
chat.
just leading us into live stream and we're not ready.
That's how it goes.
Let's turn Tony down a smidge. There we go. Cool. Oh, YouTube is going now. Gonna mute that shit. There we go. Cool. Yeah, Tony. We hadn't really talked about it, but last Thursday when I was streaming Darkest Dungeon, I got everything good. It was all fine. Just audio capture was scuffed, so I had to like set up some sources and then like get. It just didn't work with
Capture
Darkest Dungeon.
of the game or of your mic or both.
The audio for the game.
Oh, okay.
My mic was fine. Chat could hear me and everything, but the only way I could get it to work was to do like desktop audio capture.
Yeah. Okay. Which is unpleasant at times because it gets everything. Yeah. Totally.
But it was totally fine because it was just me, so it didn't, it didn't cause any problems. I just had to completely mute my desktop audio.
I wonder if, yeah, be interested to see why that was. Did you try like the game capture thing in OBS? That didn't work. That's interesting. Yeah, as everybody has seen, if you've ever come through the stream before, audio tends to be actually one of the more challenging parts of all of this, believe it or not.
It's Vince's fault.
I always thought it would be the video, but the audio is always way harder. So,
yeah, Greg, damn it, I'm just doxing him again. But whatever. Greg was like, he was like, yeah, you try this capture, try this capture, try this capture. If that doesn't work, you get like a virtual audio interface, which is what you were on in the earlier when we were trying to set up for stream, Christina. And I was like, I don't have a virtual audio interface and I'm already live, so this sucks.
Wait, so could people not hear you? Was it glitchy? What happened?
Yeah, the sound was all fucked up for like the first 10-15 minutes of stream. So if you watch the VOD from Thursday, you'll see and you'll be like, oh, that's weird.
I love looking back at some of our VODs and realizing that we were echoing at some point and nobody told us, and it just like keeps going on, and I'm like, oh, this community is pitted against us. Why did no one tell us we were echoing?
That's amazing.
It's fine. Those will be like the things that they put in the no clip documentary someday.
For the first year of Fractal Grove's streaming career, they could not get their fucking shit together. Their audio was trash. Here is the ongoing war between Christina and Vince.
It's always Christina's mic.
It's never my mic, except for earlier today when it was my mic.
Yeah, it's never your mic except for when it's your mic. What's up, Omni?
Where patterns spin, a dance of math and nature's kin, infinite loops in finite space, each turn reveals a mirrored grace.
Oh, that one's good, bro.
Damn, that is so poetic. I'm gonna turn that into like a little picture for our
That's
channel.
Fantastic. I love it.
When I was in San Diego last week, I saw a bunch of Dr. Seuss paraphernalia that they have at the Giselle Library on the university campus, and that's a Dr. Seuss worthy rhyme right there.
Hell yeah.
For sure.
Uh-oh, Omni's mad now. He's like, dude, you could have come through.
Yep, I was in San Diego for a few days just for a quick vacation with my wife. It was a pretty good time. I'd never been.
San Diego's nice.
Yeah, I actually like kind of just want to like go live there now because it's really nice. But
oh, I'm just kidding. I've never been to San Diego.
Don't have enough money, but
yeah, it's expensive as hell.
Did you get California burritos when you were out there?
No.
They put like French fries in them. It's a thing.
Oh, I mean that sounds good, but I know we got a lot of different interesting food, but burritos actually didn't end up being one of them.
I will say that's like one of the biggest downsides to Colorado is our food culture is pretty soft. It's not super great. Lots of chains. It's just soft. It's not good.
Yeah, there's just like there's decent food here, but most other places have better for sure.
Like you gotta find the spot.
What's Colorado known for in terms of food? Like, do you guys have a signature?
Meat, probably. I think meat is like the thing we do the best.
We do like green chili on Mexican food here, which is not like if you go to like Texas or something, you don't get green chili on anything. There's like big difference. Yeah, I really like green chili, and it's like kind of like a staple here, and you don't really find that other places.
Yeah, it's like a Four Corners thing. So, you know, New Mexico, Colorado, Utah, Nevada. Is it Nevada? Arizona? I don't know. Whatever's down left.
Yeah, New Mexico, Arizona,
Arizona,
Utah,
that's it.
Colorado.
Yeah, it's just a regional thing, Omni. Green chili. And I would even say like green chili, like some Coloradans are like green chilies are shit. And I've never really kind of felt that. But yeah, there's an abundance of green chili out here.
I'm sure there's like some cultural reason that I'm not going to dare dig into that has to do with just like the nationalities that either originated from this region or have kind of like ended up here over time, where it just has become like a very like localized thing. And it's kind of it's like legitimately like an identity around like especially like Mexican food here. Absolutely. So
I think the best like natural food or whatever like resource that we have, because like there's some decent produce on the western slope, but it all gets exported, so we don't really get good produce here. But it's like livestock, like meat. You can get very, very good beef here for much cheaper than you can in other parts of the country. So that's dope.
totally. Yep.
Yeah. Otherwise, like, I don't know. I guess there were some like James Beard nominees and some like Michelin, you know, nominated restaurants out here, but that's like newer. And I don't know. I just like living in Seattle for 5 years. Like you could throw a rock and hit a good restaurant. It didn't matter.
Yep.
It was just everything. Like the baseline was good. Here you could be like, oh, I'm gonna go try this place, and you're like, this is garbage. How are they in business?
And you feel like that, like if you go to like New York City, for example, it's like if you see any place that's been around for a long time, knowing how expensive and how competitive it is in New York City, it's like that place is going to be awesome.
So, for sure.
Yeah, and like it just isn't like that here. So
yep.
Yeah, it's hard. People think that New York is just like pizza is a big thing for us and bagels and pretty much anything bread based, but we have like we used to be, especially Queens, used to be the most diverse city in the world. I think Dubai ousted us. We might have gone back to number one at this point, but yeah, there's just such a melting pot of every single type of cuisine. I think we have the most cuisines in the world in one place. So it's hard to really nail down which is our signature.
I would say like the 3 good food cities in the United States are, you know, New York, LA, and Seattle. Just
Seattle, really? Why
Seattle food is insane.
Seattle has really good food.
It's really good.
I've never heard that. Why? Why is it insane?
It's cultural melting pot, and they just have a
you get it in like port cities too. Like they're getting all of the fresh stuff right off the boat. They have tons of options, and it's always really fresh. And
there are a lot of seafood.
Yes, a ton.
100%, yeah.
And I think it's definitely a cultural thing. Like the people in Seattle just kind of expect food to be better. People here in Colorado will like eat bad food and be like, this is fine. And they'll keep patronizing a place. Like yeah, it's so weird. There's a really nice like butcher. I'm trying to think of what else they do. So like they have like a butcher shop, and then we'll sell like really nice cuts of meat. They're one of, I want to say there's like 3. There was a very small amount of certified charcuterie places where you can like cure meats and stuff because it's regulated by the FDA. There's only like 3 in Colorado, and this place called Black Belly is one of them. It's a really, really, really good place. That place is dope. I want to say the head chef was on Chopped or Top Chef or something like that. So like there's a little bit. Colorado's got a burgeoning food culture, but it's not super great.
That's wild. I don't think I could ever live in a place whose food was not incredible. Like I got really bad Chinese food the other day. Bad by my standards. Like maybe it would have been great for somebody in Colorado, but I was like highly disappointed, and it legit ruined my night. I was so pissed. I was like, what is this trash?
So specifically Chinese food, because of living in Seattle, like I got to choose what kind of Chinese food I would want, like regional in Seattle. So like there was like a Sichuan place that I would go to all the time that I really loved. And then there was like, you know, a place that did like Hunan region style crab boils and stuff like that. Like it was really cool. And they were, you know, a block away from each other. Same thing with like regional Thai food, like all of that existed. Out here, you get like
white people Chinese food.
Yeah, I was like, is there another way to say it? No, just white people Chinese food, like Panda Express, sesame chicken, shit like that.
Yeah, it's the same here. Obviously, we have pretty much every region of every place in Asia, like within one square block. Like down the block from me, there's probably like 6 or 7 different Asian cuisines, all from different regions and countries, and it's amazing.
Yeah, do you get like I'm sure you do, but you could go to like shabu shabu or like Chinese hot pot. Those are very different things.
Yeah, I got 2 of them down the block. A really great dumpling place as well. Even the like more Americanized, like watered down Chinese spot down the block is still like very authentic and really good.
Oh, and to Omni's point, alternate like game meat is actually somewhat popular in Colorado too. So you can get like bison and rattlesnake and stuff like that.
That makes sense. You guys have so much wildlife. Is there a lot of hunting in Colorado? Like, is that a big thing for you?
Yeah, it's very big. Yeah, some of the best hunting in the country is in Colorado.
Really?
Yep. People will come here to hunt from out of state and like try to pull licenses. So if you want to hunt in Colorado and you're a resident, it's easier for you to get a I can't remember what it's called, tags for game. So it's much easier if you live here already, but people like, living all over the country try to get tags.
Extremely competitive still.
There's a lot of hunting in New York too. It's a big deal because, upstate and people have homes upstate and stuff. But it's still like a nightmare. Do you guys have to do classes out there? Like to get your hunting license?
I think it's just a safety cert. Yeah. So it's like an hour.
Yeah. Oh, this is like pretty comprehensive. I know it's more than an hour for sure. But then to get your hunting rifle, you need like a letter from everyone you live with. They have to sign off on it, like 4 references from people who aren't related to you and don't live with you. It's like a whole fucking thing.
Yeah, New York gun laws are wild. We definitely know that.
I mean, hunting guns and getting all of that is a lot easier than trying to just, get a gun for protection or now that concealed carry is legal, that's even harder to do. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, in Colorado gun laws are kind of a weird mix. Like we have magazine capacity laws, but also if you're purchasing a gun, you just go to a retailer and do a state background check and then you're good in like 45 minutes.
That's insane.
Yeah. That's normal. That's how most of the country works.
Yeah, I know.
California, New York, and Chicago. I think Chicago has the most strict gun laws, but yeah.
That is so laughable because Chicago has so much gun violence. Like last time I was in Chicago, it was probably 9 years ago. And you know how there's like no smoking signs everywhere? There's no gun signs everywhere. Like before you enter like a church or a museum or any restaurant, it's wild.
They have like speakers all over the city that detect gunshots and auto dispatch police.
New York has that too.
That's so crazy. Oh shit! What up, Asafa? This is the homie Asafa. Sorry, I just saw chat.
What's up with Canadian gun laws? I know nothing about Canadian gun safety.
They used to be pretty open, but it's really restrictive now. I know that.
Yeah, they're
Trudeau
was California, basically now. I think.
Trudeau, nice, so hot. Anyway, New York has that too, and there's like specific like gun and narcotics teams, like divisions of the police force, and they like get those reports constantly and have to go investigate. Sometimes it's just fireworks, which is hilarious, so they're just like sent on a useless run. But yeah, we have that everywhere. Actually, no, probably not everywhere, more in high crime neighborhoods.
Yeah, that shit is wild. Full-blown course. So like we have those here. Typically, I think that's for concealed carry cert, and I think that's normal in pretty much every state. Is like there's usually a pistol safety class required, and then you like go do a test and you get your cert. What's up, Artificial Sky?
What's up, Artificial Sky? Got the whole gang in here today.
Nice. I love the 2A chat right now.
I was gonna say, should we talk about game dev or something?
Yeah, we should stop talking about guns. We like guns
forever.
You want to talk about Concord?
Oh yeah. So okay, speaking of guns, I was playing. So a friend of mine is the I think principal gameplay designer for Concord. Concord went into beta, open beta last weekend. It on its face looked like a hero shooter, and I was like, this is an Overwatch clone. And you know, I even told my homie this. I was like, I don't know, bro. You know, like I'm a little iffy on it, and I was like, but I'll play it. You know, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I worked with him at Bungie. He's a super cool dude, very talented designer. So it's like, I know if he's working on it, it's going to be good, right? So I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I start playing it, even though it's something that I looked at and I was like, I don't really want to play this. It's not my thing. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was really good. I enjoyed it. And I realized it's not an Overwatch clone. It's more of if you took hero systems, which by that I mean like a loadout that is bespoke. You don't change your weapons. You've got that aspect of it. So think like R6 Siege is sort of a hero tech shooter. Valorant is sort of a hero tech shooter, but I wouldn't call them hero shooters. Concord falls into that category, but for arena shooters, and arena shooters are like Splitgate, Halo, you know, Destiny. So you're playing a smaller map with faster respawn times, and it's more about map control and like spawn locking and stuff like that. So I thought that was a novel take on hero systems. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally. UT2K4 is a really good example. Or Unreal Championship, I think, is the other one where it was like sort of a hero arena shooter. So yeah. Concord's fun though. Like I strongly encourage, if anyone's on the fence about it, just give it a try. Next weekend is the other open beta. We're playing, or at least I have codes on PC. So if anyone wants to play on PC, hit us up in Discord. I can probably help you get a code if you want one. I know that the way to get a code on PC was either, you know, talk to me. I can potentially help you out if you're in the Discord, or you have to pre-order the game. Otherwise, I think on PS5 you can just get codes for free and play. What are you talking about, Echo Dog?
Oh, I got it. Sorry, my bad.
Oh, it's because he was capturing. Okay, that's it. I appreciate you showing it.
Thank you for
yeah, thank you on me. Sweet. Okay, so yeah,
I was just trying to put it up on the screen here, so anybody who didn't know could see what we were talking about.
It's so weird because like watching it, you're like, oh, this is like Overwatch. It's not. It's really not like Overwatch. It's just a different thing. So don't judge it by its cover. Go give it a shot. Check it out. I wasn't crazy about the aesthetics. I wasn't crazy about the themes. You know, it's got this like kind of Guardians of the Galaxy, but more G-rated. You know, Guardians of the Galaxy, I'd say, is like PG or PG-13. And I would say Concord is like G-rated Guardians of the Galaxy. So it's like dad jokes instead of like pseudo-adult humor, you know, with like entendre. It just... look past that.
To me, it's not like I feel like you're talking about like the quips and the kind of like characterization in the game. Like I could look at this game with the sound off, and it's like I feel like these characters look like they're from Guardians of the Galaxy. Like that was always what I was kind of taking from that statement, and I guess like it just carries through even to beyond the visuals, which is interesting. So. Yeah, that guy's named Starchild. Like, come on.
Yeah.
His name Starchild, that behemoth. That's hilarious.
Nice. I like that Christina's bullying Asefa right now about
I am not bullying.
being a Quebecois.
Like, yeah. I mean, I've watched too much Shorzy and Letterkenny.
Yo. JJ Frankie JJ. Is that his name?
Yep.
Now I want to just like quote Shorzy, and I'm like, I don't think I should say anything on stream that he says.
No.
Yo, what's up, Davey?
Yes, you watch Shorzy. For what?
For what, Acid Hex? Huh? Christina, what?
Huh?
Huh? Just interrupt and say, huh?
I love that people know what we're talking about. Okay, nobody other than you
have no idea
in my life has any idea about like Shorzy or Letterkenny, and no one will listen to me and watch the fucking show, and it annoys me to no end.
Okay, so Acid Hex plays hockey, so...
Oh my god. Okay.
He's told me to come play beer league, and I'm like, bro, I'm 40. I'm not going to try to like get my hip broken playing fucking beer league wasted.
You're fine. Do it. Maybe it'll fix your back. Like just get pummeled a little bit. It'll like realign.
I mean, I could like I could stand to get in a hockey fight.
Can I come
get some
play
aggression
Realy?
out.
Also, are you missing teeth?
Give your balls a tug.
I want to say that all the time, but I feel like out of context, nobody knowing what I'm talking about is a very dangerous thing for me to just shout at someone.
Give your balls a tug.
Yeah, I can't get away with that one, I don't think.
Totally acceptable in the workplace. Yeah, I mean, in the places we worked, Acid Hex, absolutely. We've worked in some wild ass spots.
Tony, imagine telling our former CEO to do that.
Give your balls a tug.
I
mean, it sounds like, you know, might be necessary.
Yeah.
Davey, how are you doing, bro? I'm glad you're coming through. I hope you're well. I haven't heard from you in a little bit. Love seeing all the chatters in chat today. If you guys want to play Concord and you want to play on Steam, you know, again, holler, let me know. Yeah, it's sick. What else we got, Tony? We were talking about some No Man's Sky, maybe?
Yeah, and a new complete overhaul of No Man's Sky came out kind of unannounced this morning, I believe. It's called The World's Part 1 Update. They overhauled everything, it looks like, but there's a new water system, new atmosphere, new skyboxes, completely new planet generation. I think they reset everything maybe for the first time since they started making this game. And it looks like there's just a bunch of like crazy new stuff to do. So we're probably gonna check it out on stream tomorrow. No Man's Sky has had VR from the very first release, but it has always been pretty unpleasant to play on PC. Just
very
really
perfy.
like I've ever given it the love that it requires, and the perf is terrible. It's likely probably just rendering the entire game twice, and you know has just never been optimized or anything on PC. So I don't think that has changed. I feel like it would be pretty gigantic news if it ever did, but I hope, you know, someday they'll give it some love. That would be really awesome. I'll probably check it out in VR just to see if it's any better. And otherwise we'll be playing flat screen tomorrow. And
hell yeah.
Something I was telling Vince too that is kind of interesting is that supposedly on PSVR 2, which has eye tracking and some technology that you don't really get in like a Quest or an Index, and you need a very high-end PC VR headset for. They did write a bespoke VR version of No Man's Sky that uses what's called foveated rendering. So it's actually tracking your eyes and sharpening the things that you're looking at and kind of descaling everything that you're not looking at kind of in a very fast, dynamic way. And I guess people say it's night and day. The PSVR 2 version is like really playable and really nice. So again, it'd be cool to see them, you know, bring that over to PC someday. Vince's speculation was that it was probably required of Hello Games to implement something like that to hit PSVR 2 cert or something like that, or maybe Sony paid for them to do it, which I could definitely see because it's supposed to be one of the better games on that platform that doesn't have any games. So
yeah, totally. I know that No Man's Sky, like Hello Games did a publishing deal partnership with SIE, I think. So yeah, that's just how it goes. So that, I mean, that was our speculation about like why, you know, PSVR and just PlayStation No Man's Sky is more performant. It makes more sense, honestly. They're probably contractually obligated to like keep that polished and good. And then PC is sort of like a back burner thing. No Man's Sky has had a lot of controversy and, you know, sort of like a redemption story in how the game turned around. You know, Sean from Hello Games, the CEO, creative director guy, very famously like overpromised, underdelivered. But then in that time, they have really like continued to update the game and make it better. I very much enjoy No Man's Sky.
I've delivered on everything he ever said at this point. So yeah,
I very much enjoy No Man's Sky.
This guy right here that kind of keeps popping up in this video.
Yeah, so that'll be fun to check out. I like the spaceships. I like cruising around. I'm hoping there's a little more combat. Combat is kind of where I like lose interest because it's not very compelling, but exploring is super
a little like kind of like there wasn't a ton of a point to it to me.
Yeah. Because like you end up,
the stuff that they're showing in this video looks really cool. Like this game definitely didn't look like this before. Oh.
Yeah, it like the floating islands, like the skyboxes look so much better. It's cool. It's a very pretty game.
Yep. So that is that.
Oh, what's up, Striva? Not as good as Starfield, bro.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people have been getting back into Star Citizen lately too for some reason, and always seems interesting
No
to me.
Man's
But
By.
there's nothing to do in Star Citizen still. So,
yeah, I have no desire to play Starfield. I don't like Bethesda games. That's just me. I've shit on Fallout plenty of times in the stream. I don't know. That's just how I work. Ice skating. Okay. I mean,
it's so much fun. It's actually a really good workout too.
I believe it. Elite Dangerous, I've heard is super cool. I've never played it myself, but I've heard that that's definitely one of the better. Like, if you're into VR and you like space games, that's like one of the best experiences you can ever have.
I actually bought a HOTAS setup at Goodwill about a year ago. That was a really good deal. Just kind of with the intention that someday I will like get it all set up and play Elite Dangerous in VR. Probably after I talk Vince into playing it with me. But yeah, totally.
Strong agree, Davey. I think we've talked about Fallout before. Maybe we haven't, but yeah, I'm with you on that. Fallout is ass. My statement I always make is that everyone who loves Fallout has only played it for like an hour or two, and they just like cosplaying it and telling people that they love Fallout because everyone says Fallout's amazing. And so it's this like circle jerk of saying this game is great, and it's not actually good. So
see, I have the opposite thought. Somebody recently asked me or like told me they like Fallout or asked if I played it, and my immediate gut reaction was like, no, that's fucking stupid. Or if I watched the show, but because you guys, I've never done either, but because you guys talk so much shit about it and hate it so much, I'm like automatically hard pass now.
So. I have very strong dislike of Fallout.
I'm still just of the opinion that like Fallout 3 was innovative for the time, and there wasn't much like that, and it was probably pretty mind-blowing for a lot of people who hadn't played a lot of video games. And I would imagine there's a lot of people who like played it and haven't really played a lot of video games since. So just hit that like perfect spot of them being in like high school or college or something and experiencing it and like having a good time, and then just like basing all of their opinions for the rest of their lives kind of off of that experience. I see that a lot with people who like, really like Skyrim, but like aren't really gamers aside from that and stuff like that.
And I just
do have to agree with
Fallout, and I didn't even know that there were multiples.
Yeah, we have to agree with Striva. There are some Fallout games that are objectively worse. Like legitimately worse. Like the Bethesda ones are definitely worse than the what was it, Obsidian? Who made Vegas?
Obsidian, yeah.
And
it was like when Fallout 4 came out, like I was really looking forward to, I guess, like some modernization and some like improvement, I guess, on some of those things. And as everybody knows, Fallout 4 mostly just kind of went in the opposite direction on a lot of the things that I think people wanted it to do. And so yeah, like that's where my interest really died off. And then I never played 76, but 76 was just like memed to death for being terrible, especially at launch. I think maybe it's okay now, but yeah.
Oh, what's up, Turning Cog? Yeah, exactly. Davey, you know I was going to say that. I'm pretty sure I've said that to you several times.
Guys, look at this noodle.
I love that noodle.
Okay, she's not
amazing.
I love it. The shriek of discomfort.
Put me down, bitch.
Let's see what else. Oh, so Acid Hex said Primogen Butte clap. Those were emotes for like better Twitch TV or something like that. So that's what he was doing, but we don't use it, so we don't see the emotes.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't even say that. That's hilarious. Yeah, I would always call it Skyrim job.
Burgers. How do I get these cool emotes? I just have these weird ones.
You have to go sub to other people's channels.
Ugh. So much work.
So Artificial Skies subs to Boom because those are Boom emotes. Except for Kershey, whatever. That might be a VTuber.
Acid Hex, you were being weird, but also it fell flat because I don't know anything about anything. So
we got to address. Tony has opinions. Witcher 3, good or not, says Davey. I like Witcher 3, but it took me like 15, 20 hours to really start to enjoy it.
I know we talk about this a lot, but it's like I'm sure it's a good game. I've just never enjoyed playing it, and I don't think it's fun, and I don't want to give it 100 hours of my life. So I liked the first 2 seasons of the TV show, and then I thought the third one was like, I tried to watch it, and I was like, I have no idea what's going on, and the pacing is really strange, and I don't get it, and I literally fell off on the second episode. It's really sad.
Damn. So. Third one wasn't bad, but first 2 were definitely really good. I am still pissed off that they're replacing Henry Cavill with that fucking Temu version of him.
He quit, dude.
Yeah, okay. He quit to go do something else, but then that something else got canceled. So it was all for nothing, and I'm very upset by it.
I feel like that something else was like a verbal agreement at best. Like it wasn't like set in stone and then canceled. It was like, we're gonna do this, and he's like, okay, I'll quit The Witcher, and then they're like, never mind, we're not gonna actually do it.
Insane behavior. And now we have like Make-A-Wish Hemsworth, and it fucking sucks. He's so dumb. I hate it.
You mean wish.com?
Sure, let's go with that. I was kidding.
To Davey's point, 15 to 20 hours, so what's interesting is like it's pretty on rails for that 15 to 20 hours, and then when you get past that, the game just opens up and you're like, oh, I thought that was the whole game. And that's what hooked me, is I realized like I was in this little tiny area of the map doing the 15 to 20 hours like intro to how the whole game works, and the actual map was like fucking gigantic.
I'll say I made it out of like, I'm pretty sure I made it out of the starting zone and like to at least the area beyond that. And like, yeah, to your point, I could see how gigantic the game was and how much stuff there was to do, but I just didn't enjoy doing any of it. So yeah.
I will say the combat is pretty flat. It's I didn't think the combat was very
a lot
engaging.
of advice to be turn it on the easiest difficulty, because like the combat is enjoyable or challenging anyways, and just like experience the game. And I think I even tried that at one point, but just still found it very boring. So
it is a lot more fun when you do that, honestly. I still played it on like harder difficulty, and yeah. Oh, you missed convo. Okay. Let me know when you're back, or if you're back, and then I'll just repeat it. Combat is dynamic compared to Skyrim.
Well, yeah, that's comparing it to like the worst combat ever made. So
yeah, I agree with that. You mean crouch and shoot arrows at people?
Yeah, or press attack button and swing sword with no feedback whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm not a Skyrim fan. Nice, I like that. That's a good emote. Oh, it's Davey's emote. Yo. I like it. Big mad. All right, Davey. How much time do we have until the ad finishes? It should be done pretty soon. But when you get back, Davey, if you subbed to us, you wouldn't get ads. you can drop us your Prime sub.
This is a new thing that Twitch is doing.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, so I think Witcher 3 is definitely a good game. It took me a while to understand and to start enjoying, but it's good. Go out in the world and fight stuff. So do you like Dragon's Dogma 2 or no? Artificial Sky.
Is 2 the one that came out kind of recently?
Yeah, 2 was in development for like 7 years or something.
I thought 2 was like extremely interesting looking. I definitely haven't played it yet, but I just thought like visually it looked really cool, and what I saw of the gameplay I thought looked kind of fun. But yeah, I haven't tried it.
The first game's like grab and ragdoll mechanics were fucking hilarious. It just looked so funny. So you could like climb up giant monsters, and you're like holding on to them while they're thrashing around like Dark Souls, and your guy's just like ragdolling around, and then you like slap it in the head. It's really funny.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna cost you $1 billion apparently, Christina.
The best I could do is $1.
I don't know that you can get it for $1. You could give me your Prime sub.
I give you guys my Prime sub.
Goddamn right.
Goddamn right.
Thank you for your Prime sub, Christina.
You're welcome.
Do I have what's my shit at? Oh, I got 2 days left to give our. Oh shit! Let's go. Thank you.
Oh damn! Shoot, it's back.
Let's go, Shooty.
Thanks, man.
There you go, Davey. Now you can spam trees, bro. Let's get some trees in chat. There we go. Trees. Yo, thank you so much. That's awesome. Thank you, Shooted.
Thank you.
Sky hype. Okay. Yeah, let's go. We
go.
got trees and dogs. Let's go. Should we just say that that's not like Doge emote? That's Chan.
Yeah, that's Chan.
All right,
I
cool.
should have just made it Chan kick. That would have been funny.
Yeah. Who else needs one? So if you just hit gift sub, it'll throw it to a random person that follows the channel. If you want to gift someone directly Acid Hex, click on their name, and then you can gift them a sub. Oh, heck yeah, brother. You don't have to say heck, dude. Are you a dad now? And that's why you say heck?
Say it right. Say it right. I got him staring right at us.
Yeah, Hulkamania is going to lay the smackdown on you, brother.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah,
I'm gonna
brother.
go get more G Fuel. I'll be right back.
G Fuel, let's go. Tony's
fuel
raising
yourself.
his lead content.
Oh man, I don't think there are any girls in chat, so I can't talk about lead and arsenic, but
Isaifa is girl. I don't know if she's still around, but Isaifa's chill. She's super cool. It's awesome seeing Isaifa pop in chat. I haven't talked to her in a couple months, so yeah, she's awesome. Good homie from Destiny days.
nice.
Drink coffee like a normal person. I mean, I don't even
can't.
drink coffee. This is tea, but you know.
Same.
And then here's my water glass. It is a giant mug. It's a
Okay,
like
I
1.5
have
liter
one
mug.
that's bigger than that. It's in my cabinet somewhere. You know what? I'm gonna go get it when Tony comes back. I don't want to abandon you. But I also have coconut flavored Red Bull, elite
Oh,
flavor.
coconut.
Yeah,
I don't know if I fuck with that. I don't like coconut.
it's really good. Well, it's coconut berry, but yeah, it's real good.
Oh, Acid Hex, we have links disabled, so you can post that in Discord if you want to.
Yeah, it's the second time you've done that. Get with the program. It's not gonna work the second time.
Get them.
Skill
But yeah,
issue.
we have to
Alright.
disable links in Twitch chat because we get like weird spam shit. It happens all the time. Bots come through and they're like, "Yo, click on this fucking ad," you know, and it's like, "Nah, dude, get out of here." Nice, I like it. Turning Cog, just redacting everything. How you doing today, Turning Cog? It's good seeing you again. Also, I promise, chat, we're going to get into some Unreal. Probably when Tony gets back, he's going to start working on some Niagara particle system stuff. We just wanted to banter a little bit for, you know, the first half hour or so. So
Have you guys heard the very big, exciting news in the world? It's
go
huge.
on.
There's a Shrek 5 happening.
Get the fuck out of here.
Swear to God.
There's
And the
5
whole-
Shreks. Why do we need 5?
4. But there's a 5th one coming, and the OG cast is all getting on board.
Did you go see the Shrek musical?
No, I don't watch musicals. Do I look
Yo,
like
same.
somebody? Do I sound like somebody who watches musicals or enjoys theater in any way?
I will say
I mean,
that
yeah, a
I have
little bit.
tried. What's that, Tony?
I said yeah, a little bit.
What?
I-
I am deeply
Damn.
insulted to
Damn.
my core.
DDR5 looks all bloated. Oh, okay, sick. Nice. I'm assuming Dance Dance Revolution 5.
Yeah, I got excited about DDR for a second.
I'm not a DDR guy, but Tony, you're a
No,
DDR
he's
guy,
definitely
right?
talking about memory. But
Oh, shit. You're right. That's RAM. Fuck. Go to Broadway? Yeah. You go to Broadway, Christina?
No. Broadway is located basically in Times Square. So you would have to probably like drag me by the hair to take me there. I fucking hate that entire region of New York.
I feel like you would want to be dragged by the hair to Broadway, though.
Can we not? Anyways, no. I used to work near Times Square at one point in college, and I hated my life. It is like Satan's butthole. It's the worst place in the world.
I remember my favorite part of going to Times Square was seeing this place that I had a really epic boss battle in the Division at one point. That was actually a place in real life.
Hell yeah.
Actually, the Division did like a really good job of recreating New York City.
Huh.
Oh, Tony, I promised chat that we were going to switch over to some Unreal stuff when you got back.
Okay.
So that we weren't just chatting and bantering.
If it is your first time in New York and you do want to see Times Square, I will suggest the only acceptable time to go is nighttime. So like anytime after 10 p.m. It's crowded as hell and it's still insane, but everything is lit up and it's prettier. So when people come to visit and they're like, Times Square, I'm like, I hate you, but okay, nighttime only.
Okay, that's interesting because I feel like, what was it like as recently as the 90s? If you went to Times Square after 10, you were like getting robbed.
Yeah, but it's like basically a police
post
state
9/11,
now.
that is not the case anymore.
Yeah, there are so many cops. There's even like a little pretend precinct like in the middle of Times Square, like a little box where the cops are. There's just a fuck ton of cops. You'll be fine. I mean, you might still get robbed, but like you won't get stabbed at least, probably.
That's good.
Just don't be an idiot.
Oh, chat, I've got my Gamer Clout shirt on. This is my FTL Mantis shirt. FTL is a fantastic game. If you haven't played it, you should go play it.
Tony, did you build all of this?
No.
Oh, okay.
So these are asset packs we were looking at yesterday, yeah?
Vince and I, have to put the Thanos gloves on and say, fine, we'll do it ourselves on literally everything in game dev because that's our life. So we were looking at just some ways to improve the visuals of Hyperscape, the VR game that we're working on, at least in the meantime, while we try to kind of like put a vision together for what we're trying to make. And we definitely want to like cut a trailer and some videos to put on YouTube, but we want it to look a little better before we do. So this is one of the main ones that we were kind of interested in checking out. And so I thought I would just give Vince like a live preview of it here on the stream today. And
yo, shit. Sorry, 3 months. Thank you, Anna. 3 months of trees. Let's go.
Hey, Anna.
I'm very happy to have the two biggest supporters of the channel in chat today, Artificial Sky and Anna Larith. Thank you, guys. You guys are amazing. Sorry, Tony, you were talking about this asset pack.
Yeah, so this one is we started yesterday by going through my library of assets in my Epic Games launcher here, which is quite extensive, as you can see. And we were just really trying to find like anything I might have that might lend to kind of the visual style that we're trying to create, or anything like that. And one of the ones that we thought might be interesting is this. What is this pack actually called? This is Dreamscape. And this is definitely one that I think I got for free at some point in the past. It's these guys right here. There's this stylized environment meadows. This isn't actually the one we're looking at right now. The one we're looking at right now is this other one right here, the tower open world fantasy. So one of the reasons that we're considering this maybe is that stylized graphics can be a lot more performant, which is inevitably going to be a consideration for VR. We definitely want the world that we have put together to look a little more alive and realistic than it does right now, because it's kind of mostly just like a flat landscape with like a texture on it. And yeah, so we were just, again, considering some options. I wanted to look at this pack to see how performant it was and what kind of stuff that it came with, to see if maybe we could borrow some or all of it. I know we're not really trying to go this like cutesy fantasy direction necessarily, but I think a lot of the like
why not
foliage and all of that kind of looks fairly good. So
it looks amazing, and I love it. And you can make it cuter if you want. I approve. I have final say on all design choices, right? I approve. Stamp of approval.
No, you don't, Christina. Sorry.
Why? I know things.
But yeah,
so it comes with like some cool water. We got, I imagine this is probably a Niagara system. The landscape itself looks pretty good. The trees look good. We got waterfalls. A lot of the stuff we've talked about making. So, yeah, I really like
very
this
cool.
ridge over here. I think these are pretty cool.
Yeah, and Cog, it's more, we're not necessarily trying to be stylized for perf specifically. It's what, you know, Artificial Sky is saying, is that it will age better, so the game will just look better for a longer time. It's easier to execute certain things with a stylized look. Ultra realistic as a style looks bad in, like, you know, a year, because it just doesn't keep up with technology.
And there's also just undoubtedly going to be a lot more difficult for us to pull off and to create like a consistent, you know, you want to create consistency between all of the assets that you're using and stuff. It's like, okay, not every single one of them has to look real. And if you go somewhat stylized, you know, maybe it's like every asset just needs to be like a little bit lower poly and have like a shader post process applied to it, and we're good to go. So that's part of this exercise, is less like shortcuts and more we're really trying to nail down what this game is going to look like and what the visual style is going to be and what pieces we want to put in our toolkit ultimately to achieve that. So it might be this, it might not be this. This is one of those things, again, since we're just kind of assuming that we have to do everything ourselves, this might be like kind of a good starting point potentially, and if we don't like it, then we won't use it. But if it does kind of meet all the criteria and it's performant and stuff, it might be a good place to start. So that's really...
Oh, Shooty. Do you know the Risk of Rain 2? Like, when was that update? Tony and I were talking about that. We keep forgetting when it's coming out.
Not yet. I feel like they don't have an update or a date on it yet.
Yeah, we want to play that too. We love Risk of Rain.
Survivors of the Void, I think. No, that's the one.
No, that's the old one. Yeah. Okay, well, maybe there's no release date on it yet, but they did announce another expansion coming at some point. Just don't know when.
Seekers of the Storm. There it is.
That's the one.
Yeah. So this just coming soon still. Yeah. They made it seem like it was probably like Q3, I want to say, is what I heard. So
Acid, if you have Risk of Rain 2 and you want to play with us, let us know. We will definitely get a squad going for that. This shit is super fun.
If FICO's still in chat too, I have said time and time again that I'm starting to feel like he likes numbers go up type games, and this might be a good one for him. So,
well, who knows if FICO is here? He came in and started quoting Aladdin, and then we didn't respond to it, so he left. So,
what? Did I miss that?
Yeah, he started like non sequitur, just saying stuff, and then hasn't said anything for a while. Destroy that game again? Hell yeah.
Yeah. I had all of the achievements except for like 2 at one point, but they have definitely added more achievements now. So
yeah, so to that point, you know, stylized look is good.
Yes.
We don't know if we want to go this direction. But it looks good. I mean, like, we want...
Like, I'm again, like, chat, don't be looking at the tower and the books with the sparkles around it and the crystal monoliths with the chains and stuff, because we probably won't use those things. But we're just looking at like the trees swaying in the wind and the grass on the ground and the like shader for the landscape and stuff. Like, it's not bad. And the water looks pretty good.
Yeah, Shooty, if you want to get in on that, it's pretty fun, but seamless co-op is weird because it's very buggy. So, like, when it's working, it's cool. When it's not working, it's not fun.
For the most part, like, the bugginess is just like you try to teleport and you freeze and you have to start your game over, or like you can't join. But once you're in, we almost never have a problem. It actually works really well.
We've been playing it. There's 0 invasions, Strava. It's basically not designed for that at all. It's meant to be like you're just playing co-op. And Artificial Sky,
oh my god.
I think we've been playing it for like 2 or 3 weeks, but in that time it got like 3 updates. So it's updated somewhat frequently.
There was times where I updated every day while we were playing it. So
I will say it is fucking hilarious to have like 4 players fighting a boss and you all get summons. So there's just like a gang of spirit summons just slapping the shit out of a boss. It's pretty fun. It's way more casual than base Elden Ring because Elden Ring was not designed to be played that way. So
it does scale
yeah.
everything up quite a bit. Like you can feel how tanky stuff gets when there's like 4 players, especially. But still, just the AI is not designed to manage 4 people attacking it at once. So
yep, and you can play with 5 in seamless co-op, which is crazy.
And then you got summons in, and now there's like 20 because some of the summons have like 3 characters. And
yeah, it turns into hilarious chaos. But like, when you interact with like the moon portal to go to Radon to fight him, there were hella bugs with that. Like it was just super weird. So when we kind of figured it out, it was fine. Were you gonna say something, Christina?
No.
No, I saw you just tap your mic, and I was like, oh.
Oh, I muted it because my cat is screaming, and I don't.
Oh, we didn't hear the screaming. We like screaming cat.
That makes one of you. So annoying.
So
yeah, Striva
stuff that comes with this.
Yeah, Striva boss scales up like significantly more than it does in base game.
And you can configure all of that too. You have like this config file when you start your seamless co-op thing, and you can set what the scaling is and how many people can join and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. It's it's hackable too, or like cheatable, because it runs on a separate like P2P interface. If you accidentally log in with one of your characters from Seamless Co-op, you'll get banned on Steam, so don't do that. But you can copy.
But you'd have to like edit your game to like load it somehow, I think. But yeah,
if you just copy your character's save file over to
like into the main
base
directory.
game, yes.
I see. Got it.
If you accidentally load that one, you're fucked, and it will like ban you.
Interesting. Okay.
Like instant ban, because the way the mod works is it disables the anti-cheat and enables like mods and shit like that to work. All right, so we got some materials.
Yep.
I do really like the tree assets. I feel like,
yeah, I think the trees look pretty good.
I think the issue is that like we would have to do materials updates to the landscape, because the materials don't match any of this, aesthetic.
Well, we could go the other way too, where like if we keep ours, but like we want to use their trees, like we could always just like change this material to look a little better, or a little more unstylized, I guess, less stylized. Yeah.
Yo, Boom, what's up?
What's up, Boom?
Hey, Boom.
How you doing, gamer? I like
you were live like early this morning, weren't you? Were you up all night?
Oh, Boom might just be lurking. Boom found me. Now hide and seek starts over.
Cute.
Turning cog. Boom found us, and Boom is fantastic. Boom was one of the first people to come through the channel and find us when we were early days. So yeah, Boom is amazing. We love Boom.
Tony, what am I looking at? This is so cool. What
so this is from that same asset pack I was showing this guy right here. They give you the level that I was showing you that kind of like puts it together the way that you probably would in a game, and then they give you another one that's called Showcase, and they've laid out all of the individual items that they give you just kind of in a big grid so that you can see each one and kind of inspect how they're set up, and it's a little less overwhelming than the entire thing that you get in the other version. I don't know if there's any like particle effects or anything in here. It doesn't seem like it, but yeah, pretty cool stuff.
So Christina, how you see this like laid out, that's really typical of, so as like a level designer, I might get delivered a palette like this. It didn't work this way at every place that I've worked, but I've definitely been handed a palette, which is like, here's all of the pieces you can use. Now you can make a level out of this. And so then I could go like slap shit together. It's a pretty standard practice, because you can, the way the pipeline works is you have like an art team that just creates palette assets, and then you have an art team that creates environments out of the palette assets. So yeah, and you equip level designers with a bunch of stuff so that they can just start slapping shit together, and it's good.
Cool.
We have similar stuff like in Hyperskate. I built this thing for Vince where you lay out a spline and it spawns like a half pipe on the spline basically, and you can kind of design it any way that you want to and make like crazy like snake runs and stuff. And that's a lot of making games, is like kind of creating, and programming in general to some extent, is like creating yourself tools to do the stuff that you're going to have to do a lot so that you can do it more efficiently and all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's very cool.
So yeah, that's one that we'll definitely look at. We're again just kind of trying to nail down a little bit more of a visual style for our VR game Hyperskate right now. One of the main things that we're thinking about is that our landscape needs some life added to it. So kind of looking at trees and, you know, maybe procedurally generated ground cover and stuff like that. That was one thing I kind of wanted to look back at over here, is that you'll see when we load in, there's nothing there, and then all of a sudden it is there. And if you kind of look far enough away from the camera, you can kind of see the edge of this circle where this like PCG grass stuff, it gets kind of culled out afterwards. And as I fly around, you'll see it kind of like spawn in ahead of me as I go. And it's obviously just doing that for performance reasons. If I had to spawn grass all the way over there that I could barely even see, that's going to be a lot harder on the GPU and everything. And so I know that if we do something like this, even in Hyperskate, it's probably going to have to be, you know, quite a bit less than what we're seeing here. But I think we might be able to pull off something similar.
Turning cog, I was looking for it and I don't see that, but that sounds like a cool plugin. Is it specifically called Asset Palette or something else? Because that sounds kind of neat.
I think you can also build up like your own category in place actors. I can't remember how to do that.
Yeah,
this is actually reminding me of something else that I want to show off here. But yeah, you might be able to do that over here, and you always have the recently placed, which can be helpful.
And I mean, like, we can. It's easier for like the workflows that I'm used to are just organizing stuff in the right places, and so then I know like all the trees are in this folder if I need trees, and like, you know, so while that sounds cool, I don't know that it would necessarily help us be any faster, but I like it. I think it's cool to be able to like see a window and be like, oh, I want this tree, and drag it in, because it definitely makes that faster. But it's gonna save like 30 seconds per, you know, input or whatever. So it's not huge, but I don't know.
So that does remind me.
Part of the engine. Okay.
I wanted to show this website. I actually wrote this down a really long time ago and never looked at it, and was randomly reminded of it yesterday. But it's called Unreal Scoops, and I had seen somebody talk about it on Twitter or something. It's not a giant cache of knowledge, but it's just, I guess, some game dev has been collecting like useful tidbits of information from his Discord and trying to assemble them all in one place here. And I saw some really interesting stuff in here that I didn't know about, and that I kind of want to look into more. But there's just like nice kind of tips and tutorials for like a lot of random stuff, like how do you add custom icons to the Unreal editor, or the one that made me think about it is there's one that is you can make and modify arbitrary editor menus in Unreal using Blueprint. And it's definitely something that I've wanted to look into before, but there's definitely a world where you can create, you know, your own like toolbar buttons up here at the top, and when you press them, they open a whole window that has whatever functionality you want in it. And you've probably heard us talk a lot about kind of just the tools that we're trying to build for the toolkit long term for all of the different projects that we're making. And I've always kind of envisioned it manifesting as something like that longer term, where anybody on our team can just kind of click this fractal growth button that's up on the toolbar here, and it's going to open up this thing that just allows you to access all of our standardized characters and, you know, post-processing volumes and whatever. So yeah, but so definitely if you're doing Unreal stuff, this might be worth taking a look. Again, there's a lot of just everything from setting up Perforce using DigitalOcean and Ubuntu. That's definitely how we do ours. Cell shading, you name it. Yeah, speed up shader compile worker. Share a C++ project with collaborators who haven't even heard of Visual Studio. That one's probably interesting. Yeah, just how to make shadows from Days Gone. I saw one about orthographic viewport, which I thought was cool. Enable the console on a shipping build, you name it. So definitely check that out.
Also, Acid Hex gifted a Safo sub. I didn't even see that. Sorry. Thank you, Acid.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, we missed the alert. For some reason, we only got Anna's. I don't know. This is strange.
But yeah, so that is that. I'm gonna jump over now to good old neighbor grid. So
Hell
keep
yeah.
chatting.
Okay, so it's in the engine plugins. 50 minutes to buy it. Yeah. No, dude, it's honestly it's not super easy because then you have to like link a PayPal and some other shit, and
look at
it's
engine
weird.
plugins here. And what did we think it was called? Asset palette. Let's see.
Just through a link to Discord in chat. If you guys are not in Discord, please come join us over there. It'll be the easiest way to keep in touch. You can post links there, all kinds of other stuff.
Looks like it's actor palette, but let's go ahead and try it. I have to restart real quick.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I saw this one. There's a plugin for Blender that gives you Unreal style viewport controls. That kind of sounded maybe good. But I really feel like I have to start learning Blender, and anything that's going to make that easier is going to be good.
Hell
Okay.
yeah.
So let's see what this actor palette thing does.
Yeah, thank you for the suggestion, Turning Cog. That's awesome. We'll see how this works.
Sick.
It crashes Unreal. That's how it works.
Unreal. Nice. What does it say? Huh. Access violation. Huh. All right. Well, I'll try one more time and see if that was just a one-off fluke. It might just be unhappy about some other plugin that I have or something.
Yeah, Unreal be doing that.
I've learned this new fun one with some of the Niagara stuff that I've been doing, where changes that you apply do not actually happen until you restart the whole editor. It doesn't tell you that. It's just like a bug in how it works right now. And I just happened to see it on a YouTube video, and I was like, oh my God, that explains everything. But now I'm at a point where, like, when I change something and it doesn't work, I'm like, well, maybe I just need to restart the editor. And then I like waste a bunch of time trying that, and a lot of the time it doesn't matter. So it's fun. Okay.
I mean, sometimes that does work though. Just restart editor fixes everything.
Yeah, totally. I'm gonna go to like a different. Let's go to a level that actually has stuff in it. See if maybe that makes it happier. Oh, okay.
Oh, it's doing shit. Let's go. Oh, so you can just probably like throw a folder in there or pick assets.
It looks like you pick a level and it uses maybe like I have so many levels in this project.
Oh, okay. So you could create a level like the or like, you know, open the level from that asset pack and then just make that your palette. That's cool.
I think so, yeah. So I'm gonna try to. This is like the coin pusher level. Okay.
Nice. Thank you, Cog. That's awesome. That's really cool.
So what happens now?
Yeah, how do you then like select assets from the level to throw into the new one? I appreciate that chat is teaching us. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like I'm in this level and oh, okay. Now I clicked something and now I can just pop it there. Interesting. Okay, so to that point, you could point this at that showcase level that has all the pieces in it, and then just go like boom, 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 boom. Oh, that's really cool. Okay.
Yeah, that's super cool. That's definitely faster.
Awesome. Well, yeah, thank you for telling us about that because I had no idea. That's awesome.
That will 100% make my workflows faster for sure.
Yes. So.
All right. So what are you getting into with Neighbor Grid today? Do some coin stuff?
So I kind of showed off this kind of glowy glass dealy bob thing last time. Running much worse today. Interesting. I might have changed something at the last minute. But so what I've been trying to do is figure out a way to effectively have each of these modules in this thing have its own neighbor grid system within it, so that they're all just kind of dealing with what's in their box and they don't care about anything else. And once something hits this tube, it gets despawned from this one, spawns into this one, and so on and so forth. And so as you can see, I have some version of that kind of happening now. I don't think it's totally perfect yet. One of the things I'm still struggling to figure out is that when you create a neighbor grid, the neighbor grid refers to this three-dimensional box where inside of it, the particles will have collisions with each other. And when they get outside of that box, they don't anymore. And so you'll see like there's a definite transition line, and this one might not be working at all. Yeah, this one's not working at all. Let me just change something real quick. But where they'll just stop colliding with each other at a point because they're outside of that grid. And the bigger you make that grid, obviously, the harder it is on performance and all of that. But something that might be an engine limitation I'm still kind of fighting with is that the grid always spawns at 0, 0, 0, no matter what. And it needs to spawn wherever those boxes spawn. And I'm pretty sure if I can figure out how to resolve that issue, then everything that I've been thinking of should work. So I've been, fighting with this a lot lately. Again, I'm just going to change this to a different setting here real quick.
Good job, Christina. You're instilling fear in chat. You didn't even do anything.
What did I do?
Cog is already afraid of you.
As you should be.
Okay, so you can see here, these are colliding with each other. They're not overlapping, and so on and so forth. They spawn in each entrance, 1 per second. One thing it does is there's like the master emitter is in this glass cube at the top, and if I don't look at it, it calls the whole system. So that's a fun one I gotta eventually deal with. But again, so there's this magical 3D box up there that's creating the particle collisions, and when they get outside of it, they stop colliding with each other. So we're definitely still in the box down here. The collisions are working. Position myself so that I'm looking at the emitter at all times where it stops rendering.
This is wild, dude.
But then when we get down to a spot, I imagine somewhere down here, some of these alignments start getting weird, but the collisions will stop is kind of the point. And that's because, again, there's just one big giant cube that is invisible that is kind of around this origin point here that is allowing them all to collide. And so long explanation to say, if I can figure out how to solve that, then I think that I can potentially make this like really, really, really big, and it will still remain performant, and I can do a lot of really interesting stuff with it because I'll kind of have like programmatic ability to know where all the particles are and what they're doing and trigger events that happen when certain things happen, and so on and so forth. And if you guys were here last week and you remember me kind of showing, I showed a version where there was an emitter in each box, and it was like 6 frames per second. We've definitely worked beyond that now, where again, it's emitting from each box and the performance stays pretty much the same up to a point, no matter how many boxes I have. So
It's,
if anything, like the
neighbor
mesh
grid.
rendering of the actual course itself probably is harder on the perf than the particles are.
Neighbor grid Niagara particle systems is what Tony's working with.
I can
Unreal tool.
show kind of what I'm talking about here too. So
Cog is super interested.
There is a tutorial by overdraw.xyz. I think it's right at the top of their website here. This is how I kind of initially learned how to do this. So if you're interested, it's a pretty long video, but it kind of really boils down to just a couple of things that I'll show here real quick. But so if we go into this Niagara system here, there's this thing called a neighbor grid that you have to add to neighbor grid 3D. You add to the particle system on the emitter. And then for the most part, the main thing that you have to do with it is there's this inject particle step, which is not very spicy. You're ultimately just kind of setting up some variables and passing some data through. But the one that really is kind of the meat and potatoes of all of this, is this resolve collisions, which is just this shader scratch module basically. And all this is doing is it's just iterating through each of the particles inside of each of these grid cells, determining their position, and then adjusting it depending on if they're colliding with each other.
Did you have to write this shader, or did it come?
Yeah,
like,
so you basically have to like follow the video and like type along with him. That's one of the harder parts. So I do think Game Dev Micah has a like C++ version of this that he has put onto GitHub, and that probably kind of has it like pre-written for you. It might be a little spicier because it might be all in C++. I'm not entirely sure. I'm pretty sure this is the repo right here that you would need though, and that should in theory give you either a plugin or I think he was like a pre-made project too. But that'll get you a long ways there. And I actually haven't looked at this, but this is probably a lot more performant than what I'm doing right now because the entire thing is in C++. So definitely worth looking at.
Cog made a suggestion
go ahead.
asking about like frustrum culling. I don't know if that would work.
Yeah, I think there's like a setting that I can change that'll prevent that from culling. I haven't been able to find it yet, little magic checkbox type situation, I think. So
chat, in case you're wondering what that means, what we're talking about, modern game engines, especially Unreal, because it was built to make shooter games or first person games, the shit you see on the screen is the safe render area. Outside of that, there's a border that gets like pre-cached and loaded. So as you move the screen around, it's showing you what exists. Anything behind the viewport or behind the screen, and this is true when you're playing an FPS, is not there. It's just not rendered.
This is somebody
really
like
weird to think about. That's literally how it works.
Horizon Zero Dawn in an open world game, and it just shows like how much gets called out.
That's literally how it works in like every FPS. It's all smoke and mirrors, but you just, as a human, you're like, oh, everything exists all the time. No, it doesn't.
You can actually like really clearly see like the landscape tiling and stuff that's happening in the game. Like there's like a nice defined square here that pops out, and then there's another one there, another one out there, and stuff like that. So it just gives you a nice insight. You see like the foliage and stuff go way before the landscape itself. And the post-processing pops out and everything. So yeah. And that is exactly what we're seeing here when, as this is going, if I just look far enough away from it, they just disappear because that has been unloaded because the engine thinks that it's not important anymore because I'm not looking at it.
So yes, that's exactly the problem that Tony's been trying to solve, and that's what he was looking at here because he wasn't doing that before.
And to that point too, I actually think longer term, something that would be really important for this to work the way that I'm envisioning it is like if I'm not here at the top at the origin and I'm like way down, it's so busted in some ways, but again, just pretend it's working and we can do 100 iterations and I'm thousands of units away from the start and I'm not looking at it anymore. I don't want that stuff to be rendering. That's going to be really hard on perf and everything. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to my thought is I need to figure out a way to fake what's going on when I'm not looking at it through some sort of average flow through a box based on how many particles are inside of it type thing. And then it only actually shows them when you're looking at it or something. So we're still getting some of that stuff figured out, and I obviously have to figure out some of these other technical limitations first, but that's definitely what I'm envisioning is going to happen longer term to make this all just work all the time, no matter if you're looking at it, and allow it to be really, really big and really, really performant and all that. So kind of where we're at right now. This other version that I was showing before, I think this is kind of interesting, worth talking about, is accomplishing all of this through this thing called Niagara Data Channels, which is this system that they put in order to help you manage particle systems on kind of a global level, as opposed to like what I was showing before. If I tried to spawn a particle system in every box, and there's not that many boxes, but it's probably like 100. So there's 100 particle systems that are all trying to kind of work at the same time and overlap and compete and do all their calculations. Destroyed my performance, even at just a very small amount. So the example they had used was if you had a like spark effect when a bullet hits a wall in a shooting game and you're playing like a 20-person multiplayer game, there's going to be hundreds, potentially thousands of sparks going off at once at times. And so you need some way to kind of like pool all of that and manage it, as opposed to spawning a new system every time, because that's another draw call. Draw calls are hard on performance. So you create this Niagara data channel thing, and it effectively just creates one single Niagara system in the entire world, and then just feeds it data and says spawn a particle here, spawn a particle here, spawn a particle here.
Cog was making a suggestion about world partition, saying that like culling doesn't happen vertically, but horizontally it might.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Minecraft chunks too, where like in Minecraft you can be everything from the top of the world to the bottom of the world is loaded, and like whatever radius of chunks around you is, no matter how big your world is, but it's always horizontal. And I do believe that Unreal works the same. It culls mostly horizontally, not vertically, which I think it does just point to world partition. Like you're saying, it's very built around kind of a flat open world game. The landscapes don't really allow you to create any sort of like vertical overlap or anything. It seems like they just are like, we're not even going to think about that stuff right now. But yeah, it's definitely, I think it probably is more just that the system itself is being spawned from like another blueprint actor, and I think it's probably more that I need to tell that actor not to cull, and that Niagara is probably fine. So but anyway, so these data channel things come in two variants. There's this global one that I think again is just kind of like putting this big bounding box around the level and spawning particles inside of it, and it doesn't optimize it anywhere beyond that. But they have this other version called Islands, and I have it set up with the visuals enabled, so hopefully we can see it here. Yeah, so these red boxes are supposed to be these islands, and it's supposed to be a self-contained system within each box, and they really don't give you a ton of control over how the boxes spawn or where they spawn. It's like really based on like when you try to spawn a particle, it tries to put a box there so that there will be one. But it would be extremely beneficial, I think, just based on everything that I've been talking about wanting to do, where if I could just get this box to just perfectly wrap around one of these modules, it kind of feels like problem solved. I still need to figure out why I can't get the grid to move away from 0, 0, 0. That's the other thing, because I need the grid to be localized in the box as well. But if I can solve those two problems, I think that we're home free, basically, in my opinion. So
when you say grid, do you mean specifically neighbor grid or
the
like
neighbor grid? Yeah. So
okay,
the neighbor
cool.
grid itself, and I can show this because this is kind of how I've been testing this, is I just go to like a basic level here. Oh, sure. And I just drop my neighbor grid in right here. So you can see when I'm at 0, 0, when they spawn, they're all kind of spawning in the same spots. They explode out because the collisions are happening instantly. But if I move it outside of that initial like 500 pixel, I think by default box, now we're not getting any collisions. They just overlap with each other entirely. And that's because if I let it sit here and run for a little bit, it kind of will create this nice visual where like they keep popping each other out of this square, but then they just start overlapping around the border. So you'll see this like box kind of just like naturally develop here over time. Maybe move this up a little bit so they fall. But I used to have it so that I couldn't even move the emitter here at all from 0, 0, 0, or it would break entirely. Figured out how to offset that so that I can move it around and it'll work still again within the box. I just need the box to follow the emitter around and we're good. So shit. You can kind of see the edges of it kind of just like starting to slowly form here. And you know, if I just let it sit here, eventually there'll just be like a perfect square where they just kind of
Did you see Cog's suggestion about custom load volumes? So you could like create sections to control like when shit culls or not?
Yeah, definitely. And the idea is definitely going to be to implement all of that stuff longer term. I again, just kind of more been focused on getting some of this stuff to work at all. This Niagara data channels thing, there is one tutorial from Epic Games that came out in 5.2. Half of the information in it isn't relevant in 5.4. The nodes aren't called the same thing, or it doesn't work the same anymore. They put out a very short article called like updates to data channels in 5.4. It has like 3 sentences in it that tells you a few things to adjust. And then it's like, we'll make a future update and talk about more of the changes, and it's never happened. Nobody has made a YouTube video about this topic as far as I can tell, except for maybe one guy who has like Patreon only tutorials, and it seemed like it was like a smoke emitter. So I wasn't sure if it was going to be helpful for me, but this is just like one of those weird, like esoteric systems that exists in the engine that like I'm probably just gonna have to like dig into source and try to see if I can figure out some stuff to do with it that I don't know about right now. So
you check any of the like Unreal tech documents? I assume you did.
Yeah, I mean, this has kind of been a thing I've been doing for like 2 or 3 weeks now. So I've gone deep down the rabbit hole. I think the next step would maybe be to go on like the Unreal Source Discord and see if anybody can help me there. But I very rarely actually find any help there. Unfortunately, it's just a lot of other people who need help and aren't interested in helping you. So,
well,
but again, yeah, you can see now that we've been talking for a little bit, this box here, this is where the neighbor grid is. And outside of that is where those collisions just stop working. And that's why you kind of see that barrier starting to show up where it doesn't happen inside because they're popping each other out. And if I drag this around, like one, it's going to take all the particles with it to some extent. But you'll see when I kind of hit the edge of where that box was, all of a sudden, they just go bloop and they stop colliding. And anything that's still in the grid to the right there still kind of technically has collisions. They get really weird when they leave the grid and come back into it. And so you'll see, or like enter the grid from the outside. So you definitely want to prevent that from happening too. But you'll see again, like if we just move back over here, all of a sudden anything, like even the border itself, if I keep moving it and they end up in the box, they all of a sudden have collision and they start exploding out because it's like, oh shit, we're not supposed to be inside of each other. And yeah, so that is my biggest headache right now. And if I can figure that out, then everything is going to be awesome. But when I look at the thing that makes the grid, which is this initialized neighbor grid scratch module here in Niagara, I have the grid here. And if I pull off and I just look at like this neighbor grid 3D dropdown, because this should be all of the things that I can do to this, none of these are like set offset, change location, something like that. So I'm not really sure. It might be something that is exposed in C++ that isn't exposed here. No idea. So hopefully I'll have that figured out next time you see me.
Oh, I understand why you guys weren't laughing. I was muted. Damn it. Okay, all right, I'll start over. I said I want to clip Tony saying, oh shit, we're not supposed to be inside of each other.
And, you know, as I said that, I was like, I'm going to get a comment on that one.
Oh, there were comments. I just muted myself trying to be respectful. And so, yeah, it worked.
Thank you for the thoughts and prayers. I appreciate it. But yeah, so that's, again, kind of where I'm at right now. I think that once I have that, the thing that we're doing here too is that they have this export particle data to blueprint thing. I didn't write this. I'm pretty sure this is just the underlying engine code here. But what this does, again, is it exports all of the data about the particles in the system in a way that a blueprint can read them. And so from there, that allows us to add logic to, you know, how many particles are in this box, how many whenever a particle enters the tube and we want to despawn it, we should be able to know that. It's effectively just kind of checking all of this like location data on tick or something like that. And
yeah, Acid, to your point, Tony says this is not too spicy, but he's literally doing stuff that maybe only people inside of Epic are working on. So it's pretty spicy. he's like trying to massage this bleeding edge technology to do shit he wants it to do. So he's like one of the people figuring it out.
You want me to like bring this around and just like talk about like why we're doing any of this, and it just kind of like goes back to the coin pusher and the fact that like we can only take this thing so far before the perf just kind of like falls off. And I'm already doing a lot of the stuff that I know to do to make this a little more performant, and it's just like having physically simulated static meshes that are all simulating in real time is just going to be hard no matter what you do. And so I want to be able to do like 100,000 of these at once at some point, and I want it to work, and that's just been the chase. And I also just really like the way that the neighbor grid stuff ends up looking. It's very cool. So
Christina's mad at your humility.
I am. It's annoying. You should celebrate yourself.
Well, if I can figure out how to move the fucking neighbor grid, then I will celebrate. I promise. So.
Hey, Sophie. Sorry, just noticed you on YouTube. Let's see. Let me give you a link real quick. So YouTube, there's about like a 30-second delay. So we just saw you come through. I like it. Move the world instead. Boom is correct. Tony, do we have is FractalBot in? Can we Discord in?
No.
Damn it. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna do it here and then copy paste.
Boom. While that is a good suggestion in a lot of cases, I don't think that helps here, unfortunately.
Awesome, and thank you for chatting. Thank you for chatting on YouTube. We most of the chat traffic happens over on Twitch, so every now and then we'll get someone on YouTube. Really appreciate you. It's more lively over on Twitch. In case you're wondering why we're talking to a bunch of people, but you don't see any of them, Sophie. So, thank you. Really appreciate it. Sorry, Tony, you were saying something?
I turned on the coin pusher channel point stuff. I'm not actually sure it even works, but I got the G Fuel going through me, so I'll be right back.
Yes, you guys are definitely the live studio audience.
Hell yeah.
Let's see. So, okay, coin pushers on. Let's start throwing some. You can use your channel points.
Ooh, yay.
Where is my shit? There we go. Okay, channel points.
I don't have enough. What the hell?
I have 20,000 channel points. So
what the hell?
Dropping some
How?
coins.
I only have like
I'm always in stream. I'm in stream on my personal account and the Viper Zero and on the main one. Main one has infinite coins or infinite channel points.
Cheating the system.
All right, there we go. We dropped hella coins. How many are in the hopper right now? All right, we've got about like 500 in there. Sweet. This will be cool. So we should get a nice thick stack going.
All right. I just drained my coins.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I've still got 18,000, so I'm going to keep dropping some.
18,000. That's wild.
Drop more. There we go. Hey, let's go. Boom. Anna's got 8K points. How many do you have, Christina? Is Anna beating you on channel points?
Oh, 1,000%. I only had 800 and I just spent them all. I don't know why.
What's the matter, Cog? Yeah, it's a hell of a lot of coin. I don't. Do we have the? We don't have it hooked up to the channel points, but there's a ton of shit we can drop on this. There's like crystals and
Yeah,
the
drop the big
dodecahedron
boys.
things. Yeah, it's definitely the sub gifts, guaranteed.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, I feel less bad now.
I've just been, my Viper Zero Twitch account has been in the channel since inception in like, first week of January or whatever when we started streaming. So I just have all the, 100% watch rate or whatever.
And you also just don't use them. I use them every stream. I'm also not on Thursday, so that's probably why.
Yes. So you're at least missing like half the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of coins. Let's go. So I think we've already talked about it a little bit, but the idea for this was a way for us to integrate channel points into the channel to give you guys something to interact with and like do cool stuff. Because typically channel points are just to like, here, I'll show you. You can like highlight an emote. Let's do, those are bits. Let's see. I can highlight a message in chat. You can chat in sub only mode. If we set it to sub only and you're not subbed, you can use channel points to chat there. You can modify an emote. So let's go with the Doge. Wait,
so yeah, you guys can see we're at 1,200 coins on the board right now, and she's chugging a little bit for sure. I mean, we're running an editor, which is going to hurt a little bit, but not that much.
Oh, okay, never mind. Sorry, I did the thing to try to unlock an emote. So if you don't sub, you can use channel points to unlock an emote. I think it's temporary, or you can like use it once, something like that. Here we go. Modify a single emote. We'll go Doge. Let's give
I will
them the
say
Thug
that
Life
when you
glasses.
modify an emote, it only lasts for this one stream, so it's not permanent.
Yeah, it looks terrible with this, but here we go.
Did you smush it?
No, I went with the thinking like this. And it just looks
like
weird.
A...
Yeah. Guess they
very New
never
York
missed,
vibe.
huh?
Oh.
I did that for you, chat.
Yeah, chat. So imagine like instead of it being this, somewhat basic coin pusher, your contributions were putting things into some crazy Rube Goldberg system that could have a bunch of different paths and outcomes happening, and all the stuff Vince talks about where we can use it to make decisions or unlock challenges. And I just imagine it kind of being something that can constantly evolve and have new stuff added to it and change. This framework that we have here doesn't totally allow for that for a lot of different reasons, perf just being one of them. So that's hopefully where it's going to end up someday. And
we also haven't quite figured out so we set this up with the goal to be like, you guys come through, get a little more out of the stream, use your channel points. But imagine like you want to see us play a certain game on Thursday. We're not big enough yet that there's like people clamoring or arguing about what we should do on Thursday on stream, or like whether or not I grow my beard back or shave my beard or Tony dyes his hair pink, stuff like that. We wanted to use the coin pusher for it. But these are just like random suggestions that we have, but we want you guys to tell us what you want to see out of the stream, and then we can get more use out of the coin pusher. We tried putting it up a couple times when we first made it, and it, we got sort of like a mixed reaction, but everyone was just kind of like, I don't know what to do with this. So, channel points otherwise don't really have a use. They're not like super great. So we're trying to give you guys something better than like a poll or.
But you do earn channel points for watching stream, subbing, and all of that. And so yeah, we just wanted a way for you guys to like be rewarded for not even necessarily having to like give us money or anything, but just like being around, being a community member. So
yeah, a way for you guys to interact with the stream that isn't just like I made words at streamer, like.
And to Vince's point, like a lot of people just like don't use channel points for anything because they only have so much utility.
Most of the ways I've seen them work is a jamble, which is sort of like betting. It's not, it doesn't use real money or anything like that. Online gambling isn't necessarily legal everywhere, so that's why they call it a jamble. But you could be like, say I'm playing a Tarkov run or something, and then you guys could bet your channel points on whether or not I live or die, right? Like that's kind of the idea. And we wanted to just take it a step farther to be like, spend 5,000 channel points and you get a beta key to one of our games, or like not a beta key, but you get like a key to one of our games, something like that, right? Like we want to make it a system for you guys to be rewarded for engaging with the stream, aside from subbing, aside from everything else. The subs really help. Like it's super important to us. So we're not trying to say like, we don't need that. We do, but not everyone has to sub, and that's not the point of the show. Like the point of the show is to have an open door for you guys, teach you how to make video games, talk about game dev, all that stuff. So demystifying the game development process. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe doesn't necessarily matter as much. Follow on Twitch is important, but subscription on YouTube is actually really important for us right now. Because that's free, and it helps us unlock AdSense monetization. So right now we've got some YouTube videos that we could be making money off of, but we don't actually make money off of it yet because we need to hit that mark. And so we're shy of 300 left. So you have to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube before you get AdSense monetization. we didn't really care about this a couple months ago, and then we made the Destiny video where I was talking about my work on 0 Hour, or Whisper 0 Hour and everything I did in Destiny, and like 40,000 people saw that. So we went from 30 subscribers on YouTube to like 700, and then it's just slowed down for the last month. So we're really close, but we just need that extra like little push. We just need a couple hundred more people to sub, and then we'll have another revenue stream, which will be really good. And it doesn't cost you guys anything. You just gotta watch ads, and that's how it works. We do have supers on YouTube, so that's already unlocked. So you can definitely, if you want to contribute and you don't have Twitch, or you don't like Twitch as a platform, we have Coffee as well, which is kind of like Patreon. That's the best bet for us. Is that it, Tony? No, I did that wrong. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so you can direct donate there. I think that's just a flat fee for the month. So we pay
one time, you
like
can do recurring, you can do whatever. Yeah.
So we get more money through the coffee. Twitch still takes like 40% of the sub revenue, so we only get like $2 per sub or something like that, $2.50, or $3, something like that. I don't know. The margin's not super great, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. Any support is better than none. So yeah, just really trying to diversify, revenue streams. It goes so far for us at this point because we're so small still. So,
all right, I'm turning the rewards off so that you guys.
We got cheese emotes.
But...
Can you drop a big boy already?
Oh yeah, drop a crystal.
Oh, okay. One second, I'm just turn those off.
Oh, we got some Franker Z's. Let's go. Nice. Acid Hex burning channel points on Giant Doge. Love it.
Money.
Look at that happy boy.
Okay, there we go.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Gonna make it way more mad.
Oh, the perf.
Nice.
And I'm sure, a part of the perf is that like Tony was doing a bunch of stuff in Unreal, so there's probably a bunch of cached shit that's slow.
Oh yeah, no, I'm like streaming and got everything up, but yep.
But yeah, it's normally a little more performant, but it's
But
we have flow mode
this is why I always just said, I was like, if this was a particle system, problem solved basically. So if you guys were around for the day that we tried to make the particles coins, that ended up being difficult because particles are not 3D meshes. They're like a point in space, kind of almost like a sphere. And so they kind of have to behave that way, especially in terms of like how the neighbor grid works, I think. So making them actual coins may or may not be something that we can do, but I've just kind of set that part aside for now, and I'm trying to figure out the modularity approach to see if there's something that we can do there.
Also, the rainbow colored screen in the upper right is a material that we can cast to, so we can put gameplay up on that. We can put images, whatever, just someone's webcam. There's a ton of stuff we can do with this. So also, if you guys have ideas for what you want to see out of the coin pusher, let us know that too. Like, that's the whole point. We're making this stuff for you guys so that you can get more out of the channel. So yeah, if you like it and you're
whole
enjoying
thing
it.
that you're seeing here, I don't know why this isn't working because we are live, but there's a node backend web server that kind of is handling all of the interactions between Twitch and here, and so we have this little dashboard. You can see the logs of the commands coming in. I don't really have, I think I disabled these right now. But we used to have these cool lasers in here, but they're extremely hard on the perf on top of everything else, so I've taken them out for now. But yeah, we can change. I might not even be able to click on these things right now, but yeah, we're able to put kind of a screen over here in the same spot, like this one, and some stuff going on there. I'm gonna hit stop here, but the idea initially, we had kind of set up a space here where we might set up kind of like a stream broadcasting area that's kind of like up above here or something like that with this in the background. If we ever get fancy with green screens and stuff, it's definitely been things that we've talked about doing. I'm gonna show one of these other levels here with
did you turn off coins? Shooty wanted to drop some coins.
No, I turned it off. I didn't want people to waste their channel points.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
About to crash. So this was one kind of like iteration that we did a while back where we were gonna again try to
I love this one personally.
Yeah, this one turned out pretty good. It just like still
This one's awesome.
Isn't totally what I was hoping for, and it also just doesn't. I don't know.
Stairs, the buckets, the twirly boys, dude. This one's cool. I like this one.
But the idea here is that the particles that go through these like catchers end up back here. They go up these escalators here, and then down these ramps into these buckets. And when these buckets hit a certain level of capacity, they dump out, which kind of like goes onto these ramps and feeds them down there.
So much fun.
And this one, again, we already have to be way more particles than we ever were with coins, and it works pretty good. And this one doesn't ever end up really chugging or anything. So it just, again, is a good reason to believe that this is probably the route that we need to take long term. So, I mean, you can see just how clean all of this looks, even just running an editor right now, and you know how nice all the collisions are, and we're using real-time RTX lighting and all that. So
did you modeled all these, or did you modeled all the meshes in here using the Unreal modeling tools, right?
Yeah, for the most part. A lot of it is definitely in just fairly basic cubes and stuff, but I did do all of these guys up here, the scoops, and I made the escalators and all that. Yeah, definitely.
I think, Tony, what do you have? Are you 40 series
video 3080.
3080. There you go. But yeah, running on a 1080 Ti would be pretty wild.
Yeah. I think
I feel like it probably could.
Game Dev Micah, that guy that I was talking about, he does a lot of his like baseline testing on a 1080 Ti, and I know that you can get pretty far along with it for sure. You can't do ray tracing on a 10 series though. So
1080 Ti is a great card. I had that for a long time.
I have a 1080 like hybrid that has like a water cooler like integrated into it, and I played VR on that thing forever until I got my 3080. So
hell yeah. Yeah, I was a 1080 Ti gamer. I skipped the 20 series entirely. I'm 3080 Ti now.
Did you have 980 SLI?
Yes, I had two 980 Ti SLIs. That was a huge fucking pain in the ass, and I would talk
SLI
people out of that.
Never a good idea.
Yeah, go single card. It's like getting SLI to run consistently was always trouble. So yeah, I was like, oh, it'll be cool. Instead of buying like a next gen card, I'll just get two of the older gen. It was not a good idea. The single 1080
the reality is that every time they make a new gen too, it's like more than 2 times better than the last one. So
the two 980 Ti's were like 20% more performant than the 1080 Ti, so it was just better to use the 1080 Ti.
Yeah, I don't think they do SLI after the 10 series turning clock, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, the architecture just completely changed, and single cards became wildly better. Like the amount of voltage for, GPU processing power was dropped by like 60%.
They have a lot of technology that can like batch work across cards that you don't need the SLI bridge anymore. It just like happens on the motherboard.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think Crossfire and SLI are dead technologies now. I think it's just like no one's really doing it. There's not a use for it anymore. There's better software ways to, make processing more efficient. Particle systems like Niagara, Neighbor Grid, crazy. Yeah, this one's definitely... How are the buckets? Are the buckets full on the sides?
I think they're about to start going here. Yeah, these are starting to make their way down, so keep an eye on this guy. But yeah, and so there's stuff. I've been learning a lot about Niagara through this process, and just like how to make stuff in it, but also how it works, and some of the stuff that you can do with it that I wasn't really capable of before. And one of the things that I think is really cool that is probably going to have some really interesting applications for this is you can spawn a particle from another particle, and that's how you're... if we're thinking back to like the Elden Ring particle system that I was trying to make recently, where you kind of have like the sparks fly out and then they explode and they have their own systems, you can kind of like chain those systems together like that in Niagara really well. So it's one of those parts of Unreal I really avoided for basically the entire time until this year, and it's not as hard to pick up as I expected it to be, but you just got to kind of understand some fundamentals about it.
Yeah, you took to it really well. Like once you started like poking at it, you started making really cool stuff very quickly.
Yeah, and Vince always teases me and says that one of these days I'm just going to become like a VFX artist and start writing shaders, and it's like, yep. I mean, you saw that neighbor grid collision code. That's literally shaders. So
yeah,
we're right there.
So. Shader coding is a crazy thing.
It is like, there's this website, as soon as this bucket dumps, I'll show it here for the last few minutes, but it's called shadertoy.com, and it effectively just allows people to write shader language and then upload it to the browser. Oh, there we go. Watch, it's gonna miss. I missed a little bit. But
yeah, dump that bucket.
Oh yeah, let's see how this one's doing. That's another thing you can see, like, you know, that bucket filled up. The closer I think you are, well, I know this, the closer you are to these particles and stuff that is using this collision system, which is using distance fields in Unreal, the closer that you are to them, the higher resolution the distance fields are, and that makes the collisions behave more accurately. And so the farther away I am from stuff, like, you can kind of see the particles over there going into the bucket just aren't really moving anymore. And I think it's just because the collisions are a lot less accurate than they are over here, where I'm kind of staring right at it and you can see stuff is kind of like very accurately happening. And so that's probably going to be another one of those things that is going to be a challenge to figure out. If we do figure out some way to make it really big and make it sort of work when you're not looking at it and stuff, we need to ensure that stuff, to some extent at least, will continue to behave the way that you would expect it to, so that there's not, you know, weird edge cases in how stuff works or anything like that. So yeah, but again, we're I'd say we're still, you know, high 60 FPS plus, something like that in editor, and we've got to have, you know, what, 10,000 particles or something live at this point. And so again, right over 1,000 on the coins, we're dead in the water basically. And there's also no directional light or sky atmosphere or any of that stuff in that other coin pusher level that we were looking at. I've eliminated all of that a long time ago to get some more perf out of it. And so I had left it in here again with all these, you know, shiny reflective surfaces and stuff just to see how it would work. And this is going to be the way. Just gotta get it to do what we need it to.
So I have an idea for one of the like coin drop voting things we were talking about. Yep. I will be in Colorado mid-September, so we can have our community decide what we'll do for Fractal when I'm there, and we can all be together. Like, we could do, I know we talked about this a few months ago, we could do like a live stream in the woods, or like watch Christina hike for the first time in 3 years or some nonsense.
All right. Oh, there it goes.
Yeah, party stream.
I do see him like start to just like do really weird stuff. Like if you watch this pile over here, as I fly away, it'll just kind of like get weird, and then it's like it's the edge of the distance field rendering. I'm pretty sure it's like going through that really cool. as I back up. It's very strange. So gotta ultimately kind of try to make that not happen. I had shown that being something that was happening in this dungeon thing that I had made initially, where if I get too far away from any of these things, the walls just kind of stop being solid, and
whoa,
the particles will just go right through them. So
like some Mission Impossible where like there's red laser beams and you have to avoid them.
Yeah. So if I go here real quick, I can do.
Christina, you just reminded me of Workaholics. Catherine Zeta-Jones, she dips beneath the lasers.
So good. But yeah, so just a couple minutes left. I appreciate everybody coming through, of course. We are probably going to play No Man's Sky tomorrow, so definitely come through for that. I'm going to try to figure out how to move a fucking neighbor grid before next Wednesday. And if you see me and I'm in a really good mood, probably means I figured it out. So, yeah, that'll be cool.
Tony, we got a lot of suggestions for the coin pusher from chat after we asked, which was pretty cool. Coin POV was one that I saw that was pretty neat. So imagine you're like a coin, you're like bouncing through it. That seems cool. Shooty had a suggestion. Let's see. Scrolling up a smidge. Sorry, chat. I'm just going through here to try to capture all that. The better place for physically drop a coin. So like, you like pick the thing and you pick like when it goes. That would be really cool. We talked about that feature for a while.
We've talked about a lot of like basically kind of giving you guys more interactivity. I would love to have a version someday where it's like a multiplayer game and you can join and have like a first-person view on your screen and you can fly around and watch it, and to your point, maybe like drop a coin or be able to track your own contributions or what have you. So I think all of that stuff is definitely the type of thing that we want to work towards, especially if people get excited about it. If you guys have ever seen the like marbles on stream game, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, this one definitely took a lot of inspiration from this initially, where the idea here is that each viewer can be a marble and then you kind of race and whoever gets to the end wins. Ludwig uses this a lot for kind of like a spin the wheel type thing where like every marble is a challenge or a thing he has to do. Whichever one makes it to the end is the thing he does, and then that one gets eliminated and he does it over and over. Always ends up having to shave his head. But
Christina's out here pinning cheese.
I don't know how it happened.
I love it.
I don't know. I mean, I do love cheese curds, but not enough to pin it.
Amazing.
Also, ranch being too spicy. It's like the whitest thing I've ever heard.
Oh, it makes me want Cosmo Spicy Ranch. It's been a long time.
What is that?
I don't want to tell you.
Guys,
it's Colorado pizza. You wouldn't like it.
I don't know how I feel about ranch. I'm just going to say that. Sometimes I like ranch, but I think I prefer blue cheese.
Oh, man, I was about to agree with you, but then you went to blue cheese. Ugh.
I know, right?
Are we talking like generally as a dressing or just with your wings?
Okay, wings. As a dressing, never ranch.
I mean, if either of those is your salad dressing of choice, get out.
But yeah, go to the doctor. Go to the gym.
Go to the doctor. Go to the doctor. Yep.
Exactly.
Some nice cheese chat. Okay, chat. What's your favorite cheese? Let's go.
That's a tough choice. I love cheese so much.
Yeah, I mean,
I like soft cheeses and hard cheeses.
Like I'll just like eat a bag of Parmesan out of the fridge, like pretty much on a daily basis. But
yeah, that shit fucks. No, turning cog. No,
like if I want to get
none of that.
Like,
that's not
like
actual
burrata
cheese.
At an Italian restaurant is probably like one of the best cheese options.
Okay, let's be for real though. I'm gonna out everybody in chat and both of you. Do you, when you get like cheddar or Parmesan, do you buy it like pre-shredded or do you buy a brick of cheese?
Both.
Depends.
Yeah,
it definitely depends on the application. And I will, like, I know cheddar is like a super popular like middle America cheese to put on everything. I tend to shy away from that. I like whiter cheeses more because like they're more mild in flavor. They're not as like,
I know,
there's like a tang to cheddar.
I love cheddar.
Block Parmesan, for example, is probably going to be superior in every circumstance, but like I really just have like a taste for like crappy Kroger bagged shredded Parmesan cheese. Like,
yeah,
I just like, I like it. I know it's not the same. I know it's not as good, but just like, I don't know, it just my upbringing or something. Like,
well, at least you got the real cheese and not like the green
the Kraft fucking shake shit.
Powder
that shit
sucks.
Yeah, no, that shit sucks. That's garbage.
The fact that you don't have to refrigerate it just means it's not cheese.
I'm trying to think. I tend to like, so if I'm just like eating cheese, I'm definitely gonna go with like a soft cheese and like maybe a fruit spread. Like that's dope. I'm all about that. Nice. But I also really like cotija and like goat cheeses.
I was saying, like, I do not do like my wife loves brie.
Oh, I love brie.
I love brie. I love it.
What is
so
wrong
good.
with you? It's not even like blue cheese is more intense.
And, like, her and her brother will go to like a fancy cheese place and they'll buy a cheese called like the stank master, and then they'll just, oh, yeah, and I'm just like, get the fuck away from me. That's disgusting.
No, I'm about some stank master. Let's go.
Yeah, like, I'm not even exaggerating. They bought a cheese called the stank master one time.
That's incredible. What kind of cheese was it?
I like the stinkiest one they had in the store. I don't know.
Fuck yeah. Some like Stilton or some shit.
It was pungent. It was disgusting. They made me try like a very small piece of it, and I did not like it. So.
Yeah, I definitely go for like the cheese plate, and you know, like I'm a charcuterie type of dude. Cheese plate, cured meats, some pickles, some vodka. That shit goes hard.
I like how you love Triscuit.
I'm not
Good
mad
job,
at
Omni.
that.
That's not how you spell Triscuit, but yeah.
Like a
Gorgonzola is pretty good. Sparkle likes Gorgonzola a lot.
I fucking hate Gorgonzola. It's like one of the few cheeses I'm like, ugh, gross.
What about like Manchego? Manchego goes
Yeah, I
pretty
don't
hard
mind it.
too.
Yeah. I was vegetarian for a while in college, not that long, but I could never go vegan because I just love cheese so much. Like I literally could not. I mean, I didn't last long as a vegetarian, but it's a different story. But yeah, I just fucking love cheese.
Cheese is so good. And the funny thing is I am lactose intolerant and I fucking love cheese.
You
Did
are?
you give
I
your
was just
balls a
about to
tug or
say,
what?
I would be so sad if I was lacto.
Yeah, it's tough. It's just like when you go to like I will say out here, one of the things that we have pretty well in like the weird Mexican restaurants that we have, because they're like not all that great, is like quesos. They're pretty solid for the most part. And I always eat the queso, and I'm always regretting it later.
I remember
But
one
I
time
love
Vince
queso.
comes over to get tacos, and I know Vince is lactose intolerant, and so I don't get queso because it's like the thing that I get every time I go to a Mexican restaurant. And then he's like, "Oh, you didn't get any queso?" And I was like, "No, I thought it would kill you." And he's like, "Oh no, I don't give a shit. I want queso."
Yeah.
Love is pain.
Mm-hmm. Vegan, yikes. Damn, dude. Well, I'm glad you're no longer vegan. That shit's bad for you.
It is one
I
of
know,
those things.
spicy-
when you stop,
spicy
though,
takes
you
you
really
back.
can't start again. Yeah, your body just is like, nope.
Okay, well should we wrap it up on the cheese convo?
Good
Ooh,
practical
wait.
cheese talk, guys.
I want to know about the thing Anna just said. Okay, how do we say that? Who can Portuguese?
No.
Pau de queijo? Pow? I don't know what the tilde is over the A.
Type it out.
Did I say it right?
Oh, you got it right. Good job.
Queijo, right?
Look at you. Look
Fuck
at this white
yeah.
boy getting it right.
It's
to
all
be
the
fair,
UFC I
sounds
watch
like-
with all the Brazilian UFC fighters.
And you have like family that lives in, I mean, not Portuguese speaking countries.
Yes,
but,
totally, yeah.
you know.
A lot of my family speaks Spanish, not because
Same.
I'm necessarily Spanish. I was born in Spain, but whatever, doxing myself. Yeah,
And talking about some kind of Spanish.
some kind of Spanish.
Yeah, I have a lot of Latin American family as well, through marriage, but you would think that I would speak better Spanish, but I don't.
Sweet. Well, I think that's it. Final thoughts. We talked about Neighbor Grid. We're gonna play No Man's Sky tomorrow.
We
got some
love our
requests for
community,
Quake.
and we want you guys to come hang out in the Discord. If you have a VR headset, we are actively handing out test keys for our game Hyperskate right now, which we will eventually show on stream when it looks good enough. But if you want to try it out and be somebody who, you know, potentially influences how it gets built, and you know, wants to share your thoughts and feelings and tell us what you think of it, please join the Discord. We're trying to keep it to subscribers only at this point, but we really do appreciate the help. I'll just throw it out there too that again, Vince and myself and Christina are trying to build a VR game, and if anybody wants to be involved or help out, especially if you're a 3D artist, please reach out. We would really appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. We need you guys, and you guys help a ton. So, like, you know, you can get more involved if you want to. So, yeah, you guys are amazing.
Please reach
We love
out.
your
I can't
support.
keep carrying the team and game design, so come help.
100%.
Yeah, no, you guys are great. We love you guys. We will see you tomorrow for some No Man's Sky, and yeah, it'll be a great time. Ooh, Parmigiano Reggiano, that is good cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's see if anybody's live.
Yeah, we're gonna potentially go raid somebody.
We could raid Pirate Software playing Deep Rock Galactic.
Yeah, do you guys want to go be a part of the 15,000 people talking to Thor? I feel like that won't do any good for anybody.
Wait, nope, we're not going to raid anybody. But
Nah.
You guys have a good day. We will see you tomorrow for No Man's Sky.
Yeah,
Hey,
we love
let
you
me
guys.
know.
Thank you so much.